Welcome to Swinger University, your horizontal enrichment program, where learning never got you hot like this. Here are your hosts, Ed and Phoebe.
Welcome back to Swinger University. This is Ed.
And this is Phoebe. Today we're going to give you another elective course, a house party review to titillate your ears for the first episode in 2020. We chose this episode because we have been so busy buying a house, tearing apart the house, remodeling the house, and moving into the house all in a very short span of 30 days. So
it's been a bit hectic this month.
Yes, but we managed to squeeze in some stress relief.
Quite a few episodes of stress relief.
By the way, you should definitely turn into the New Year's Eve event review. Holy crap, that was good.
Coming soon.
Yes. Today we're reviewing this house party. The woman who had the house party is a unicorn. She's a good friend of ours. And it was her very first house party. So she really wanted a group of people that would gel well together. So she started off reaching out to a few of her good friends and said, if you know anyone that you want to add to the party, you think it would be, a good fit or have a good time, go ahead and give them my information and I will send them the details.
Yeah, and they told two friends and they told two friends.
Yep. And we wound up with about a 40-person house party.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good turnout.
It was a really good turnout. It was a beautiful home. Oh my goodness. Laid out really, really well. The dining room was converted into a dance floor with a disco ball. Mood lighting was all throughout the house. The play areas had red light, so you look fabulous. The outdoor area had a nice, three-sided tent with heater and places to sit and the food. Let's talk about the food.
So much food.
Oh my God.
She admitted that she'd over-prepared in terms of food, but no one went away hungry.
No.
I mean, there was enough food for probably a week. And it was great. There was a whole selection of different things, a buffet, if you will, of yummy treats. I'll add, too, that for someone who's throwing a house party for the first time, she learned from some of the other events that she'd been at and had extra towels. She had extra sheets in the rooms. She had condoms in the rooms. She had lube in the rooms. So everything was set for people to show up, have a good time, and not have to worry about any of those kinds of details.
Right.
She'd figured it all out ahead of time.
Yeah. Trash cans and wipes too. Oh, and I think she had chapstick. She may have even had hair ties.
There may have been hair ties as well.
This girl had it all. I was like, oh, you've been taking notes.
It was great.
It was.
So today's theme for this episode, because we've kind of started off on this buffet concept, and then there was so much food, we're gonna talk about the party like a 3-course meal. So we mixed and mingled and had some good conversation with a number of people there, introduced ourselves, and met people who we'd never met before.
Right.
So new couples that we'd never seen before. And it turns out that a lot of them were fairly local to where this party was. They all lived within a couple miles, well, a number of them lived within a couple miles of where the house party was, which was great for them. It was a little further for us, but it's well worth the drive. So we're kind of hanging out in the kitchen, nibbling on a little bit of this and that, and kind of strike up conversation with this one Latino couple. Very nice couple. Mm-hmm. She had these striped, form-fitting, very hippie pants. Mm-hmm. I mean, she walked in the room and that was like the first thing that I saw when she walked in was her pants. Fabulous.
Ed was like, oh, did you see that?
Yeah. Hips, curves, great.
I know.
Just like caught my eye immediately.
Long, dark hair. Yeah. She's very sexy.
Very sexy. Beautiful woman.
Yes.
And a little bit shy on conversation, but, so a little quiet.
Right.
Her husband did most of the talking, but she still engaged in conversation. So it was fun.
Mm-hmm. He was very sexy.
Yeah.
Nice hair, nice short hair, nice trimmed facial hair, nice barrel chest.
Took care of himself.
Yeah, he
worked
did.
with his hands. He was
he was a strong guy.
Strong guy.
Yep.
And also funny. He had great stories, and because we were in the middle of, I guess, working on projects for the house. Well, we had been talking about plans for the house, and because he was in construction, we were kind of exchanging notes, and so we had some stuff in common. It was great. So we had good conversation going.
So, conversation's great. Fast forward to the good stuff.
Right, because
we go upstairs.
You don't want to talk to death.
Yes.
So we decided to ask him. We're like, hey, you guys want to go upstairs?
Did we ask or did you? Did they ask?
I'm pretty sure I asked. I'm pretty sure I did. And
so upstairs we went. And the night was young.
Oh, yeah. This was within like an hour of us.
I know. So it's probably there. 8:30, 9 o'clock? No, 9 o'clock.
No, it's probably
9:30?
a little bit later than that.
But still, as you know, most swingers don't do anything until 5 minutes before they lock everybody out. So
we were one of the first couples to go upstairs and play.
Yeah. So we did. We went to one of the rooms and we decided to close the door. Usually we like to leave the door open because we like to be watched. But I think she preferred it to be closed, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine with me. So, kissing was great. Energy was great. We had started undressing one another. That was super hot and sexy.
Clothes were coming off. Mm-hmm. Her bra comes off, and she had these great gumball nipples.
Oh, yeah.
Those were yummy.
I see you pinching your nipples over there.
Yeah, she was sexy.
I love gumball nipples. They're amazing because my nipples are not that large.
They're close.
They are not that close. Hers are probably 3 times the size of my nipples.
Well, you do not have insignificant nipples.
No, they're your standard number 2. You know.
I think they're a little bigger than that. But yes.
Okay.
We will not quibble about the nipple size, although later I will confirm the actual size of your nipples.
We're gonna get the calipers from the garage.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got a precise measuring instrument for that. So yeah, we were playing. Yeah. Everybody was having fun. We kind of laid down on the bed and continued kissing, and he went down on you for a while. I went down on her for a while, and we had some fun. Mm-hmm. Switched places a couple times. But,
as you know, sometimes the drink will get to you.
Yeah. He was very disappointed and
I know.
And very upset. And
we was.
We assured him that it was okay and it wasn't that big a deal.
And the thing was, he said he hardly ever drinks at events for that reason. And for some reason that night, it got away from him, and I think someone else poured him a drink, and that always happens. Don't ever want to let anyone pour you a drink because you don't no, you can't keep track.
Right.
So,
And it's
hit him.
okay. It
Yeah.
hit him. It happens sometimes, but all the more reason to be very conservative when you're drinking, because it can get away from you.
Yeah. And the lights were low. I mean, the red light in the room was pretty dim, and
Right.
I felt myself getting a little sleepy, like in a movie theater. And I'm like,
Right.
oh no. So
He was very disappointed that he didn't get to have sex with you. He really wanted that. He was almost angry at himself
know.
for not.
I know. I did my
getting to
best
have
to
you.
reassure him that this happens. It's totally normal, and that we don't think ill of him in any way, and he will always have a second opportunity.
Yeah. And if we see them again, we'll definitely engage them in conversation and see what happens.
Sure.
Stuff
happens.
Stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
And you always get a second chance.
Yep. So appetizers.
we kind of
done.
left the room a little disappointed. Kind of hoped for a little bit more than that, and we kind of, had that in the back of our head, and so we wander back down into the main buffet area, and we start having a little bit of conversation, and there was a single male that we'd been conversing with throughout the evening. Very nice gentleman, funny, great conversation, and the unicorn that had invited us to the party was there, and we'd played with her a little bit at a different party. And
so the single male is basically stoking the fire, and I'll explain how that happened. But we had a mystery meal.
oh yeah, let's talk about that before we get into the main course.
Dun, dun, dun.
But conversations were happening, and
Yeah.
a couple that we have known for years was at this party.
Like
And
6 years.
yeah, and actually they were one of the first, if not the first, couple dates that we went on. But nothing has ever happened. And we run into them over and over and over again. So we're calling this the mystery meal.
Yeah.
Mystery because for some reason we can't figure out why it's not happening.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
Well, sort of. He's a really, really nice guy. Like the sweetest, most genuine,
nicest guy ever.
just great. And he's terrible to look at.
I know. He
Phoebe's
reminds
been
me of The Rock. Just
drooling
his
over
face,
him since before we went on the date with them.
Yeah.
He's on a list.
Oh, yeah.
He's on a list.
Yeah.
But it's just never quite happened. When we first met them, we were new and they were new, and so it was a little awkward, and we didn't, it just didn't quite happen. We didn't pull the trigger, and neither did they. But then, like recently, over the last couple of years, when we've run into him, there's just been something off-putting about the dynamic in the room. And it's really hard to put your finger on, but the way that they talk to each other, the way that she presents herself, makes her very unapproachable. And it's very disappointing because she was super cute, and I was more than interested in her at the time.
Yes.
I still think she's an attractive woman.
Yes.
But there's just... It just feels off, and
I don't think they're on the same page. And when I was observing their nonverbal communication, it wasn't friendly, and it looked like they were having a bit of a tiff. It happens. I've seen it before. But I've seen it before with this couple a lot at events. So after a while you go, well, maybe they're just not on the same page. Maybe there's something else going on, here. It just doesn't look like they're a team in this sport. Someone's not on the same page.
Yeah. And for us, that's kind of a mood killer.
Well, yeah. And you want to be with a couple that's on the same page. You want to be with a couple that respect one another and look
Absolutely.
like they're in love with one another, and that they treat one another well, and that, each one of them is their world.
It feels like you don't want to get in the middle of this.
Right. Yes, because it feels awkward.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not sure I want to step into that room.
Right. And you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen because you can see what's happening not in the bedroom.
Right.
And it's kind of weird. So you definitely don't want to do it in the bedroom.
Right. So observing those types of things is important.
So
yeah, that didn't happen again.
Probably the 12th time that we've interacted with them, and just like, whatever. It's just not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen.
And I think we actually resigned ourselves at the end of that night. We're
I think I gave it up finally.
You know what? 12th time's not the charm. It's not going to be lucky 13. We're just going to give up on this.
No. And that night, I tried. I was working her because he said, because I did talk to him when she was outside and he was at the buffet, and
we were blunt. We were like,
I said, look,
we're interested in you guys. Do you think that, is that even
he's
an
like,
option?
oh, I'm in. You just have to work on her. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go work on her. So I worked her and I worked her and I worked her. No.
Yeah, she was just disengaged.
Disengaged.
Involved in a whole bunch of just.
And I don't think it was just
me.
I mean, I get that maybe she just doesn't like me, and I get that, and I'm okay with that. But she just looked disengaged in general with most everybody. So
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't just you. There was something else going on too. So
that didn't happen.
It is what it is. We moved on.
No
mystery meal for us. That mystery is.
It's
still a mystery. We will never unwrap that package.
Okay, main course, baby.
Ooh, this was fun.
Yes.
So we're in the kitchen. We've struck out sort of once. It was a base hit. Here we have the second attempt. No. Didn't happen at all. Womp, womp, womp. And so we were like, you know what? Let's make something happen.
The night is young. We are like, we were just like.
And so we huddled and we were like, okay, I'm into the unicorn. You're into the single guy.
Uh-huh.
What do you think? She was like, the gears are turning. And she goes, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That sounds like a great idea.
Who, she, me?
You.
Oh,
Phoebe.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Phoebe's like.
Because then we roped in unicorn.
So I get real close to the unicorn. I press my lips to her ear and I whisper, how about you and me, Phoebe, and the single male go upstairs and have a little fun? Mm-hmm. And she said, yeah, that's a great idea.
Ah.
She's been interested. And so we knew that she was a highly potential opportunity.
Yes. Right.
And the other guy, the single male, had been talking to us throughout the night. And he was definitely engaged.
Right. But I want to say that I've never had a single male approach you and I before at any of these events. And I really, really liked that. I liked that he didn't Shanghai me alone.
Right.
I liked that he approached us both. I liked that he was respectful.
Absolutely.
He was confident, courteous, and let his intentions be known and wasn't like over the top.
Right.
And so he would approach and then he would go, he'd leave and he'd mingle. And then he'd come back again and he'd check in like a good salesman. He must have done that 3 times that night.
Yeah.
And by the 3rd time, I was ready to go. And this single guys is hands down the best approach. Why? Because it's done with my partner. It's done with those things: confidence, respect, and what was the other thing I said? Confidence, respect, and
follow through.
But it also gives me time as a woman to think and process. Right? Because while I may not say yes on the first time, I'm going to say yes on the second or third time.
Well, and it also feels very organic. It's like working a room. You kind of you say hi to somebody, you introduce yourself, and you go, "Hey, I'm going to go get a drink. If I see you around, I'll, say hi again. It was very nice meeting you." And then you circle back around later in the evening, and it just feels more natural.
Yes.
You're not hounding somebody. You're not desperate. You're not like It's not a high pressure sale.
Right.
This is a casual sale. And it worked.
It did work. It was awesome. I loved it. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. Okay, so unicorns on board. Then I think Single Kai had the radar. And he just walked over, I think.
And we said, "Hey,
let's go.
You interested?"
Yeah.
Going upstairs. And everybody was on board, green light. And in this particular occasion, we actually got to use the master bedroom.
Oh.
Because we were with the hostess.
Right.
That was fun.
Got the big room.
Giant king bed. So we wander upstairs, set the stuff out that we need, close the curtains. Well, we kind of looked out the windows for a little bit and checked out the neighborhood.
Yep.
But everybody started getting
risky.
Naked. Clothing started coming off. People started making out. And all 4 of us were all on the bed at the same time.
I know. It's so fun when you're all on the bed together. I love it.
And it was great. We were trying to recall all of the positions and changes and things that happened. And honestly, we don't remember all of the details for it because it was just so organic. And it wasn't... It didn't feel like we were going through all these different positions. It just kind of happened.
I do remember a couple of my favorite things. Doing my bear rub. I like doing the bear rub. I think I did that. And then I think I was humping his leg because
you love doing that.
Feels so good. And then I was definitely doing cowgirl. That was awesome.
Yes.
And I taught him a few things with cowgirl.
You rode the crap out of that guy.
I did.
It was awesome. Looked great. And the unicorn and I had a good time.
Uh-huh.
She and I had been flirting for some time, and at the previous party where we'd not where we'd met her, but we'd been asked to escort her to look out for her because she was by herself at this party, and so we were kind of like chaperoning her.
Right. But you've been with her before.
No, I hadn't.
You didn't get an opportunity to?
No, we'd all played on the bed at the same time, but it was another couple that got to play with her. So I was mostly an observer, and at the hot tub, she got to sit in my lap. But it was all very above board, if you will. It was very platonic, naked platonic.
So you had that long history of
long build up for that.
Yep.
And she was a little nervous about having sex with me, but her partner had said, "Oh no, you definitely have to try that." So she was looking forward to it. She was a little nervous, but it all worked out.
I really want to use the nickname that you got on New Year's Eve.
Go for it.
I'll give you a little preview to New Year's Eve. Ed got the nickname Quarter Pounder great nickname.
I haven't weighed it, but
Oh, that's a good idea.
People usually just measure.
I know. Ooh, that's it.
If it's
That'd
more
be fun.
mass, we'll just go with that.
Anyway, okay, moving on.
So
super
Unicorn
fun.
was a lot of fun. She had a great time. It was her first party. She got a little party favor at the end of it. And by the time we'd finished and gone downstairs, most of the people had started to leave. And she had a co-host, so she didn't abandon the party. But it was such a good time.
Yeah.
Such a good time. And so comfortable.
Yes. And so fun because the whole evening had this nice, easy flow to it. Nothing was awkward. Nothing was unusual. And it was really rare to go upstairs, play with a couple, come back down, and go back up again.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we don't usually get that kind of opportunity.
Mm-mm.
And it was fun.
Yeah. It was
a lot of fun.
Really...
We actually felt like big sluts that night.
Yeah, we did.
But that's okay.
It was great. I'll take it. I'll take it.
It was an all-you-can-eat buffet, and we just served up several helpings.
Yep. We went back again.
Gotta go back.
Again. So, what have we learned, Ed?
Well, we learned if you don't succeed at first, try again. Don't let one bad experience kind of overshadow an evening.
Yeah.
Get back up on the horse, cowgirl.
Yeah.
And try again.
Yeah.
So maybe you miss with the first couple that you approach. Try again. Let's say the first couple's kind of a miss in the room. Well, clean yourself up, get your hair fixed, go back out.
Yep.
Try again.
Single guy was the winner. I told you what worked. He was respectful, had confidence, and he was great with follow through.
And he didn't appear desperate or pressuring.
Exactly.
And I think that's the key there.
Observing other couples' dynamics is going to be really good insight for you and them as a potential play partners.
Right.
So, even if you don't get an opportunity to talk to them, just observing across the room how they interact will give you a lot of information as well.
Yeah. How do they talk to each other? How do they talk to other people? We saw that on New Year's too, where the character of someone's conversation with other people will give you a big indication as to who that person is.
Exactly.
Why this party worked for us. The setting was great. Everything was prepped and set out. Attention to detail was fantastic. All of the important things were in the right places. Plenty of food, good mix of people, and the rooms were set up for having a good time.
Yeah. All in all, an awesome house party, and I can't wait for the next one. She's actually had another one. We weren't able to go to it because we were buying a house. So, wah, wah, wah.
But we'll get to the next one.
Yes. So in closing, we would really like to say that we enjoy all of our listeners and their support and their emails. We wish everyone a happy and healthy 2020. Rest assured, we have lots of great content coming this year, so stay tuned the whole year for your listening enjoyment. More educational stuff on the way.
More educational stuff, more destination reviews,
Yes.
party reviews. We plan on having a very active year.
Yes, we will be going to Costa Rica in May. Oh, so please come. Please come. It'll be super fun.
Yeah, we're looking for as many friends to show up as they want. If you want to hang out with Ed and Phoebe,
oh yeah,
check out Costa Rica.
so fun. And then in
November
we're going to be on a cruise.
We'll be on the Bliss Cruise in November. So if you'd like to hang out with us then, we will be on a boat.
Oh my gosh, if you've never done it, you need to go.
So much fun.
Yep. All right.
Well, here we go. End of our first episode of the new year, and many episodes to come for the coming year.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. This is Phoebe.
And this is Ed. Before you turn off our podcast to take care of all the vanilla things pulling you away, please reach out and give us a review. I know mashing a star is so much easier, but a review is so much better for sharing your love of what we're doing with others. We would appreciate it. If you want to share a personal story, ask us questions, or share your comments, please contact us at swingeruniversity@gmail.com or on Twitter @SwingerViewPodcast.